I was sitting alone in that hospital corridor when the doctors told me my daughter only had a few hours left. They said there was nothing more they could do, and in that moment, I completely broke down. But what none of those doctors knew was that back at home, locked inside our house, a small brown and white beagle named Scout had already set something into motion, something that would save her life. And I never even got the chance to properly thank him, because by the time I found out what he had done, he was already gone. My name is Rachel. I'm a 31-year-old mother living in Columbus, Ohio, and this is the story of Scout, our 3-year-old beagle, and the night he changed everything. I want to start from the beginning, because if you don't understand one thing, none of this will make sense. Scout was never supposed to be our dog. 2 years before our daughter Lily was born, my husband Daniel surprised me with Scout as a birthday gift. The thing is, I didn't really like dogs, and I made that very clear to Daniel. I told him, we're not ready for a dog yet. But then Scout looked up at me from inside that cardboard box with those big brown beagle eyes, and I was done. He followed me everywhere. Every room I walked into, Scout was right there, 3 steps behind me. Daniel used to joke that Scout thought he was my husband and Daniel was just a guest in our house. When Lily was born in October 2021, I was worried about how Scout would react. Everyone warned me, be careful with a dog around a newborn, you never know what might happen. But that first night, Scout walked over to Lily's crib, gently sniffed her tiny hand, and then lay down on the floor, right underneath it, like he was on duty. From that night on, Scout slept under Lily's crib every single night. Not beside it, not near it, under it, like a guardian who had been given a responsibility. It was a Thursday night in February. Lily was 14 months old. She had a slight cold, nothing serious. Her pediatrician had seen her that morning and said, she's fine, just a mild virus, keep her hydrated. Daniel was in Chicago for a work conference. It was just me, Lily, and Scout at home. I put Lily to bed around 7:30. She was a little fussier than usual, but she fell asleep. Scout took his place under her crib. I went downstairs, made some tea, watched TV for about 30 minutes, and fell asleep on the couch. I don't know what time I woke up. All I know is that Scout was on top of me. He wasn't nudging me. He wasn't barking from across the room. He was standing on my chest, all 28 pounds of him, making a sound I had never heard in 3 years. Not a bark, not a whine. It was a low, desperate, pleading cry. And his eyes, I had never seen that look in an animal before. It was pure, intense terror. I pushed myself up and said, "Scout, what?" But he was already off the couch, at the stairs, looking back at me, running up 2 steps, then turning back again. I don't know why I ran. Mothers just run. I reached Lily's room, pushed the door open, and she was blue. Not crying, not moving. Blue. I don't remember screaming. I don't remember calling 911. I just remember holding her, the dispatcher's voice telling me to stay on the line, and Scout sitting in the doorway, completely still, watching us, like he had done his job, like he knew. The paramedics arrived within 4 minutes. They said Lily had stopped breathing, a sudden bacterial infection triggered by the cold, and they said if she had gone another 15-20 minutes without intervention, she probably wouldn't have made it. Lily spent 6 days in the pediatric ICU at Nationwide Children's Hospital, the longest 6 days of my life. Daniel drove through the night from Chicago. We took turns sitting by her bed, holding her tiny hand, praying. And every night, I thought about Scout. He was home, alone. Our neighbor, Karen, checked on him twice a day, fed him, took him outside. But I knew Scout. I knew he was confused. I knew he was waiting. On the third day, Karen sent me a picture. Scout was sitting in the hallway, right outside Lily's room, just sitting there, facing the closed door, waiting. I cried for an hour. When Lily finally came home, thin, exhausted, but alive, Scout heard the car pull into the driveway. Karen said he had been lying by the front door all morning, like he knew. I carried Lily inside, knelt down on the floor, and Scout didn't jump. He didn't bark. He slowly, gently walked over and pressed his whole face against Lily's cheek. And Lily, this 14-month-old baby who had just survived something she wasn't supposed to survive, she smiled. She smiled. Daniel was standing behind me, and I heard him make a sound. Not words, just a sound. The kind grown men make when they're trying not to cry and completely fail. People ask me, how did Scout know? Researchers at the University of California have studied how dogs, especially scent hounds like beagles, can detect subtle biochemical changes in the human body. Changes in breathing, in skin, in body temperature, things we can't see or smell. Beagles in particular have over 220 million scent receptors. That's about 44 times more than a human. So when Lily's oxygen levels started to drop, when the chemistry of her blood began to change, Scout smelled it. Before any monitor, before any machine, before any human could understand what was happening, he knew something was wrong. And then he made a decision. He didn't just bark once and go back to sleep. He didn't give up when I didn't respond right away. He climbed on top of me. He cried out. He demanded that I wake up. That's not instinct. That's love. There's no other word for it. A 3-year-old beagle named Scout, who had only known that little girl for 14 months, refused to let her go without a fight. 18 months after that night, Scout passed away. It was a heart condition, something that can happen with some beagles. He was 5 years old. Lily is 3 now. She's healthy, loud, full of life. She's obsessed with dinosaurs and strawberry ice cream. She doesn't remember that night, but every single night she sleeps with a soft brown and white beagle plush. She calls it Scout. I don't know what happens after we lose the ones we love, and I won't pretend that I do. But I know this. On a night in February, a small dog with big ears and enormous brown eyes looked at a woman sleeping on a couch and decided that her child's life was more important than his silence. If that isn't love, I don't know what is. Rest easy, Scout. We'll take it from here. For every dog who has ever stood watch over the ones they love.